most of us, a wash and a wax is as far as we'll go when it comes to spiffing up the family car. But some folks look at their cars as an artistic challenge. They paint them, they sculpt them, they weld and they solder them. They call them art cars. These artists are rattling the very foundation of North American car culture, and they want all of us to join in the fun. Meet Jan Lowe of Montclair, New Jersey. Jan's a jazz singer and a songwriter. She also sings opera, teaches music, plays jazz guitar, and creates 3D art. Somehow she also finds time to work on her art cars. Jan didn't always ply her multiple trades in New Jersey. She grew up in Houston, Texas, which in those days was not a good place to have rainbow-colored hair.
It's a big city, but it was against a lot to play music on the street or have your art on the street. So it was very unexpressed. And someone started making art cars and had an art car parade, and it changed, you know.
Jan's love of music was born before she was. Her parents were attending a Charlie Bird concert when Jan's mom went into labor. Jan's father dutifully timed the contractions and urged her mother to hold on at least until intermission. Today, Jan not only plays jazz guitar, she also deconstructs guitars and other musical instruments as part of the three-dimensional artwork she creates.
Sometimes I feel like I have an obsession, and I want to see what people are thinking about artistically. It's really fun, and I love it when I do it. I like to see what my mind brings up when I do an abstract painting or something, and I like just seeing what's going on in there. I really feel like everyone should express themselves. The world would be better for everyone if everyone did art. Everyone saw that inside of themselves, saw that they could do it.
Jan's 3D art, her music, and her art cars are all woven together, and there's a spillover effect. Jan's creativity attracts other women from the community and gets them involved in her projects.
Yeah, anybody you know that you can get to paint. I might as well bring that art now. Yeah, my experience is, mostly it is guys doing the art cars. But as women, if we encourage each other to do art, then we're set, you know, and it's better for men too if they get to see that part of us. I see myself as someone who instigates other people to make art cars. The more people express who they are in the world, the more artistic expression is wild and around and connecting and shooting out.
Today, it's an art car paint fest. Jan's invited pretty well anybody who can hold a paintbrush to join the brigade. The brigade that's creating rolling masterpieces for the next Montclair Art Car Parade. And everybody gets a chance to dabble their contribution.
When I bring people together to make art cars, it's interesting to watch them spark inside and feel good. They're always usually a little bit hesitant. And then you watch them get more and more excited. They start giggling, you know, some of them jump up and down or whatever. And then they start just saying, oh, this is great. I'm having so much fun.
Jen gave me an art car once, and I drove it 3 hours up interstates, and people were laughing at me and pointing, but basically it made them very happy, is what I noticed.
You know, I think that people don't realize that you can paint cars, and it's fun, and not enough people do it. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I did something nice, something that people enjoy. That's what it's all about.
Jan is up to her elbows in art cars, and it rubs off on the folks she attracts. She says the power of creating art cars is the freedom it unleashes in everyone who takes a hand in it.
The good thing about art cars and stuff like that is that you express yourself without any rules, without doing it for an institution.
Oh, it's slid down so much.
Everyone in the whole world should sing, should paint. It's a natural thing, you know? You intake emotional experiences, and you need to let them out. When people around me are happy, I feel happy, you know? And I think that people don't always realize that if you support each other and bring that out, it makes your world a better world. It does. The happier everyone is, the better the world is going to be.
What would you think if you saw this coming down the road at you? Well, don't be alarmed. It's just a parade of art cars on the streets of Vancouver, British Columbia. A chance for these whimsical vehicles to get out of the garage and into the sunshine. And a chance for the driver of this vehicle, Greg Ball, to show off his pride and joy. He's a little pumped about it.
It feels amazing to be in this art car parade. It's actually the first art car parade that I've ever been in, and I'm just unbelievably excited to do this.
Greg's day job, an instructor at a local college. This is actually a class project that he's driving.
I really, really miss the kids right now because they were the pioneers of this art vehicle. I mean, they started the project.
Look at that, eh? Bet you that'd be fun to play with.
Greg's students may have started the work, but when class was out, Greg found he just couldn't leave it alone.
What I found happening was I started to become more and more obsessed with the vehicle itself. So, I mean, I don't know when it's going to be done, to tell you the truth. I don't really believe in kind of like a finished product. So this thing could keep going for the next 10 years, I think.
Greg doesn't pour all his artistic talent into his truck. He does conventional art, too. Well, sort of conventional. But Greg's Datsun, that's art on wheels. Greg, when somebody asks you, what's this about, what do you tell them?
A lot of people have kind of described the back of the box here as like a twisted kind of Garden of Eden. As you can kind of see, there's just a tremendous amount of different kinds of collectibles and figurines and toys here. There are like little elements here and there, kind of like sex and violence and death. It's just kind of a smorgasbord. For example, there's an accident scene happening right up here in the top of the box. A police car is kind of running into another vehicle. There's scenes of machoism going on here too, like the wrestlers are kind of like trying to out-macho each other. There's a little tiny wrestler down here. So it's all kind of playing with different types of scale too. You have to almost sit down and really kind of just look through it carefully, and then it begins to kind of more come to life. That's what I find with most people. They have to really kind of take it in.
And just when they think they've taken in as much as they can, Greg takes them inside.
Okay, so this is the dashboard of the truck. It's another really unique part of the vehicle, I think. One of the students got a brilliant idea of actually placing Hot Wheels, gluing them down onto the dashboard. So it kind of references a traffic jam in essence, actually. What I'm finding happening is if I find something at the garage sale that I think might work with the vehicle, I'll buy it, obviously. It's really kind of taking a life of its own. The vehicle will almost speak to me and say, this is what I want. This is what I need, right? You can find so many of these things at the Value Village, though. They come in like packets.
Greg doesn't have to buy all the add-ons for his truck. Friends donate items too, and so do strangers.
Well, yesterday I parked the truck up on campus, and there was a note here attached to the truck. This is a gift from a friend to me many years ago. It's a tear cup, and I was told when it was full to pass it on. It's yours now, my heart is full, and it's signed Dusty Roads. So these are the kind of things that happen to you when you have a vehicle like this. There's always a constant surprise.
Does the art truck serve as a conversational icebreaker? Greg's friend and fellow artist Paula Worth says yes, whether Greg's ready or not.
It's an interesting thing because Gray's both really outgoing, and so he likes to talk to people and he likes people to smile and laugh when they see the truck. But when he's feeling kind of shy, he can't hide. His truck just kind of speaks for him. Yeah, so it definitely puts him on display.
This truck is a working piece of art. It's Greg's only vehicle, so he drives it everywhere he goes. And that's when the fun begins.
When I park it, oftentimes there's like kind of a magnet or kind of an energy that draws people into the truck. And so I've had conversations with hundreds of people now just by parking it in an ordinary kind of spot.
Look at the old Poppy, and that's a real good one. Police car.
Well, I hate to be the one to clean all those figurines up, though.
Yeah, it took a lot of work, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Snoopy.
Oh, cool, a new skateboard.
I think the idea of maybe buying a brand new vehicle is look at me, look at my wealth, look at my status, look, aren't I hip and cool? And maybe in an ironic kind of way, I'm doing the same kind of thing. I'm saying, look, I'm hip and cool too, but I don't have to buy, you know, like a $35,000 SUV to say that I'm cool. I can actually go and buy really cheap kind of spray paint that makes a very different kind of statement.
Transforming an assembly line 1982 Datsun pickup into a rolling toy shop is definitely a different kind of statement. But for all Greg puts into his art truck, he gets something very valuable back.
If I have a really bad day, I go out and I work on it. So it's great therapy. And I get the joy of understanding that people are laughing and they're smiling at the vehicle. I'm kind of spreading joy out there in the community.
Surf's up! Welcome to the beach and boardwalk at Ocean City, Maryland. Tourists flock here for the waves, the nightlife, the casinos, and for one very particular establishment that you won't find anywhere else in the world. And it's our next stop. For over 30 years, the Ocean Gallery World Center has been owned and operated by the man in the tux, Joe Proart. Yeah, that's his real last name, Proart, with a hyphen. Art is half of Joe's name and all of his passion. This gallery made it into the Guinness Book of World Records. Why? Because it contains more fine art per square inch than any other place on the planet. The proprietor is a bit of a showman, and proud of it.
I've been cited as the P.T. Barnum of fine art. which I accept as a great compliment. He knew people needed something interesting in their life. He watched them, and he did things that they liked, which is exactly what I've done.
But one day Joe realized that art doesn't have to be nailed to the wall in a gallery. It can move, it can roll. And that's when he got into creating art cars. Mind you, that first art car needed work.
I had this secondhand, ugly family car. My kids hated. It was an odd shape. It was an ugly-looking car. And then one day in Ocean City, Joey, my son, said, you know, that would make a great Batmobile. So at 12 midnight, which is the only time we have free to 6 in the morning, we created the Batmobile with about $26 worth of paint and materials. And the next morning, it was a hit. People stood around and looked at it, pointed at it, and they loved it. And before, nobody would look at it. Einstein said ingenuity is more powerful than money. Now, Disney World can spend $400,000 building a Mickey Mouse car, or just designing it. I mean, endless amounts of money. We did it with $26, and that's the fascination.
26 bucks. Let's take a look at what $26 can create.
This is the world-famous Batmobile. This is not the movie Batmobile. This is the real one, okay? This is candelabra. It's 3 candle power, and it's for power outages to outwit the Joker. This is a starter just in case the other starter, the engine, doesn't work, so you just pull it. And it's a little difficult because it's a jet engine. It's 800 horsepower. So. And these are fins off of a surfboard in case the Batmobile hits high waves or it goes into water. These are high-speed wipers. They work very fast. They're moving right now, but they're so fast you can't see them. There are special high-speed tires. If you notice, they only touch the ground at the bottom. This is actually a fan from a boat, but when you go about 30 miles an hour, the fan spins, and a lot of times in the wind, the fan will spin, so people come up to the car and they'll be looking at it, and all of a sudden they realize something's on, and it makes them back up.
Joe's Batmobile carries more doodads than a community garage sale. He's even made sure there's an onboard line of credit.
And it's always good to have a credit card machine in case Batman runs out of funds. This is the rocket launcher, but you have to be careful not to stand directly behind the rocket when you're launching for obvious reasons. Parents all the time walk by the Batmobile, and the little kids start touching. They say, oh, no, don't touch, don't touch. The signs say don't touch. The little kids look at the signs, and they say, Dad, you know, it says please touch. And then the father will go over and say, oh, yeah, okay, all right. And then the kids have a ball. And occasionally little things are missing, like little bat signs off the Batmobile, which I think is really cool, because somewhere some little kid has a little bat that they got from the Batmobile, and they've got it treasured in their room, and they've got it hidden, and they've got a piece of the Batmobile, and I think that's neat.
Joe Crowart's Batmobile was a sensation, but it was only a beginning. Joe had even bigger plans, Titanic plans.
Well, I had this big old car that was very heavy. And somehow in my mind, looking at it, I just thought, Titanic. It was, it was done in my driveway, basically, over a period of probably 2.5 hours initially.
Like the original Titanic, this four-wheeled version is destined for a watery grave.
Born to sink.
Pity, because as seaworthy art cars go, this one comes with a shipload of options.
Okay, this is the famous Titanic car. This is the lifeboat, which obviously is inadequate for the number of people in Titanic. That's a propeller complete with engine sounds. You got ventilators from the engine room, and this is the antenna for the radio, and it's distress calls only, and this has only been used one time, by the way, which is significant. These are life preservers, and you know, basically these are old little tires off of lawnmowers, and this is the ship's log. And of course the smokestacks, which are symbolic of Titanic. And this is the way to call the engine room. Full speed ahead, full speed ahead. Turn left, turn left.
The automotive version of the SS Titanic has gone the way of the original. It was deliberately sunk off the Atlantic coast as part of an artificial reef. Joe's proud that his car has been reborn as a home for fish. To Joe, it's the ultimate in recycling. So is this the end of the road for Joe's art cars? Are you kidding? Joe's a lifer, and he's not in it for the money.
We've never made a penny off of our cars. It's there for fun. And when people realize that, it makes it more meaningful because they're not paying for it. It's something that somebody is doing for them, and it's kind of like a favor in a way. It's free. And they respond to that very deeply. It opens them up. It's a very personal kind of a relationship. I just have a desire to create, and it's very satisfying to do that. And a lot of people don't follow up with their feelings, and that's why they're frustrated. And that's not living. You know, that's being like on hold or something. I enjoy what I'm doing.
Car owners come in two groups. The majority, who take whatever comes off the assembly line, and the movers and shakers, like Greg Ball and his many-colored Datsun pickup, like Jan Lowe and her posse of auto makeover artists, and like Joe Crowart, high priest of art cars in Ocean City, Maryland.
Now, this is the true Ocean Gallery shot, okay?